Chapter 28. And it cometh to pass in those days, that the Philistines gather their camps for the war, to fight against Israel. And Achish saith unto David,
Thou dost certainly know that with me thou dost go out into the camp, thou and thy men.
And David saith unto Achish, Therefore thou dost know that which thy servant dost do. And Achish saith unto David,
Therefore keeper of my head I do appoint thee all the days.
And Samuel hath died, and all Israel mourn for him, and bury him in Ramah, even in his city. And Saul hath turned aside those having familiar spirits, and the wizards, out of the land. And the Philistines are gathered, and come in, and encamp in Shunem. And Saul gathereth all Israel, and they encamp in Gilboa. And Saul seeth the camp of the Philistines, and feareth, and his heart trembleth greatly. And Saul asketh at Jehovah, and Jehovah hath not answered him, either by dreams, or by Urim, or by prophets. And Saul saith to his servants,
Seek for me a woman possessing a familiar spirit, and I go unto her, and enquire of her.
And his servants say unto him, Lo, a woman possessing a familiar spirit in Endor. And Saul disguiseth himself, and putteth on other garments, and goeth, he and 2 of the men with him. And they come in unto the woman by night. And he saith,
Divine, I pray thee, to me by the familiar spirit, and cause to come up to me him whom I say unto thee.
And the woman saith unto him,
Lo, thou hast known that which Saul hath done, that he hath cut off those having familiar spirits, and the wizards out of the land. And why art thou laying a snare for my soul, to put me to death?
And Saul sweareth to her by Jehovah, saying,
Jehovah liveth, punishment doth not meet thee for this thing.
And the woman saith,
Whom do I bring up to thee?
And he saith,
Samuel, bring up to me.
And the woman seeth Samuel, and crieth with a loud voice. And the woman speaketh unto Saul, saying,
Why hast thou deceived me, and thou Saul?
And the king saith to her,
Do not fear, for what hast thou seen?
And the woman saith unto Saul,
Gods I have seen coming up out of the earth.
And he saith to her,
What is his form?
And she saith,
An aged man is coming up, and he is covered with an upper robe.
And Saul knoweth that he is Samuel, and boweth face to the earth, and doth obeisance. And Samuel saith unto Saul,
Why hast thou troubled me to bring me up?
And Saul saith,
I have great distress, and the Philistines are fighting against me. God hath turned aside from me, and hath not answered me any more, either by the hand of the prophets, or by dreams. And I call for thee to let me know what I do.
And Samuel saith,
And why dost thou ask me? And Jehovah hath turned aside from thee, and is thine enemy. And Jehovah doth for himself as he hath spoken by my hand. And Jehovah rendeth the kingdom out of thy hand, and giveth it to thy neighbor, to David, because thou hast not hearkened to the voice of Jehovah, nor didst the fierceness of his anger on Amalek. Therefore this thing hath Jehovah done to thee this day. Yea, Jehovah giveth unto Israel with thee into the hand of the Philistines, and tomorrow thou and thy sons are with me. Also the camp of Israel doth Jehovah give into the hand of the Philistines.
And Saul hasteth and falleth, the fullness of his stature, to the earth, and feareth greatly because of the words of Samuel. Also power was not in him, for he had not eaten bread all the day and all the night. And the woman cometh in unto Saul, and seeth that he hath been greatly troubled, and saith unto him,
Lo, thy maidservant hath hearkened to thy voice, and I put my soul in my hand, and I obey thy words which thou hast spoken unto me. And now hearken, I pray thee, also thou, to the voice of thy maidservant, and I set before thee a morsel of bread, and eat, and there is in thee power when thou goest in the way.
And he refuseth, and saith,
I do not eat.
And his servants urge on him, and also the woman: and he hearkeneth to their voice, and riseth from the earth, and sitteth on the bed. And the woman hath a calf of the stall in the house, and she hasteth, and slaughtereth it, and taketh flour, and kneadeth, and baketh it unleavened things, and bringeth nigh before Saul, and before his servants, and they eat, and rise, and go on during that night.